National Signing Day 2013, and for the Colorado, and I'm Matt Stephens, joined by Kelly Lyell, and we're going to talk about the Rams recruiting class a little bit. 23, 24 new guys, depending on how you look at Brett Jordan, who was in last year's class. A lot of great talent, and it seems like CSU really covered a lot of their needs.
It does, and that was the biggest thing, is that they really needed to go out and get some guys. Jim McElwain said it from the beginning. We need some big defensive linemen that can come in and play right away. They got 3 junior college guys that will be able to fill that bill, as well as Austin Burke, the senior out of Grand Junction High School, graduated early to come in, and just talked to Greg Lupfer, the D-line coach, and he said he's going to have a real leg up on having a chance to play significantly this fall because of being in here all spring, getting acclimated, being here for the off-season conditioning program, the 15 spring drills, etc. And so I think that was really, really critical.
Yeah. The size, obviously, wide receivers, that was big. Big size you got there. CSU's had a lot of success with slot receivers pretty much lately. Just your Hansleys, your Thomas Kaufmans. I haven't seen a lot of size at the wideout for CSU since maybe TJ Borky, and he didn't really play there that much. And this year looks like guys like Sammy Long that really don't have that.
Yeah, I think they need that. They had a little bit of it with Marquise Law, Byron Steele, who left the program before his senior year. Those guys had a bit of that size, but certainly you had a laugh when Jim McElwain said one of his requirements was that they get some receivers taller than the head coach. Jim's probably about 5'9", 5'10", maybe. Something like that. So obviously they went out and got some guys like that. I talked to Alvis Whitted, the receivers coach, about these guys, and he said not only is it important to have these guys to be able to do those short yardage jump balls, the type things that everybody in the country is doing now, that Jim McElwain did a lot at Alabama, but also that having those guys on the edges is going to allow the Hansleys and the Charles Lovetts to be a lot more effective running out of that slot position where they might get ISO coverage from a linebacker that's going to have a real tough time matching their speed.
Right, and one more thing CSU got this year was a lot of guys from in-state. They targeted them early, committed early, and for the most part, everyone stuck to their work.
They really did, and even the one they lost, was Timothy Coleman decided to go to Colorado instead. And from my understanding, nobody can officially say this, but my understanding is they kind of wanted him to gray shirt because he's not recovering from his major surgery as much as they had hoped. He got hurt in the second game of the season, major knee surgery. And so I don't even think that was really like a steal of CU getting him. That was more a matter of a new coach came in at CU, said, I need to get some in-state guys. Who can we get? I think he went after all the in-state guys that Colorado State got, and the others all stuck firm by their commitments. And I think that was huge. 4 of the top 15 in the state, according to the Rivals.com postseason list. They got number 7, number 8, number 12, number 13. And then Zach Goldich wasn't on those lists, the kid from Gateway that got injured in the Aurora Theater shooting, but he was probably just outside of that list by most people's counts. He was an all-Colorado selection for all classifications by the Denver Post, and also he certainly was one of the best offensive linemen in Colorado as well.
Another lineman that still a chance CSU do with 2 scholarships available, Joey O'Connor, former Windsor player, so there's still a chance for another in-state guy in this class.
There is, and Jim couldn't comment. The NCAA rules don't allow him to do that, obviously, but certainly I am fairly certain that CSU is at least on the list that Joey's looking at, his short list, when he said he wanted to come back closer to home. And Jim McElwain made a point of leaving 2 scholarships still available because one of these counts, Brett Jordan counts back to last year, so they don't have to count him in this year's 25 initials. And so he's got 2 spots to still play with should Joey decide to come here. They have room to accommodate him. Same thing if another guy pops up. Maybe they get a JC guy late that shows up, or another Lanston Taney type thing, another D1 transfer that nobody really finds out about until May or June. He's leaving open the option of being able to take a guy like that. And I think that's fairly important, and he thinks at Colorado State that's probably always going to be something he's going to need to do and want to do, just to make sure he can take that kind of a caliber player if they do come along late.
Last but certainly not least is Capri Bibbs. Think about the 3rd signing class in a row he's been a part of, running back for CSU. The Rams are certainly going to be stacked there next season, especially. You got Woke, you got Bibbs, Riddick, everyone in there. And Bibbs, Coach said he's going to be a little rusty probably. He didn't play all last season with the Front Range Community College, but now he's ready to work out in the green and gold.
I think it'll be interesting. And Capri, I've seen Capri around town. He's been fairly visible in Fort Collins this fall and through the winter, and he looks like he's put on some decent size. He played well 2 years ago at Snow College when he did play. That was a pretty talented program, and he was kind of sharing carries with some other guys. Certainly, though, when he was in Chicago, I mean, to be the Chicago Offensive Player of the Year in two different organizations, ESPN, Chicago.com, and ChicagoNow.com, both said he was the best offensive player in the whole Chicago area his senior year of high school, which was now in 2010.
Right.
That's pretty impressive, though. 4,600 career yards in his final 2 seasons and 61 touchdowns, I think.
One game with over 500 yards and 7 touchdowns. It's a game alone.
520 yards and 7 touchdowns. It'll be exciting to see what he can do. And certainly we've all been waiting. He was a guy, he was part of last year's signing class. He had been talked about forever because he committed to Colorado State while he was still a junior.
Right.
So people have known about him for a long time. And then he comes in and he has to go. There's some issues with his HCT score, he told me. NCAA wanted him to retake it. He was a little nervous because it was a one or done. You retake it. If you don't get this score, you don't ever play college football. Right. He said, I'm going to go get my AA degree from a community college and come in as a JC transfer. He's still got 3 years of eligibility remaining. He only burned one of those years. He did get that AA degree in 12 months, which is fairly impressive. It also suggests he can handle it academically.
Right. Well, great. Well, for Kelly Lyell, I'm Matt Stephens, and be sure to check out Colorado.com for all your CSU football coverage.